Thanks for listening to Uncle Sam's Soccer Podcast, keeping you up to date with the latest in American soccer. And don't forget to subscribe.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this second live edition of Uncle Sam's Soccer Podcast on a Thursday night. We were live last night. We're live tonight. It's Thirsty Thursday. I have my bourbon. Steven, Are you drinking anything right now?
Iced tea.
Wow, you are getting very rowdy on a Thirsty Thursday.
Hey, I'm training for a half marathon.
That doesn't mean you can't have a little fun.
That's fair. I mean, MLS playoffs. What's there not to like? Plus, you have the biggest game in MLS history. Why not get liquored up?
Why not? Speaking of people who are not getting liquored up right now, no Arman Kafai.
At the moment.
He might join us later.
He might.
He may join us later. Jason from League One Fun also might be joining us later. However, his Twitter account is suspended, so we really have no way of contacting him. I have other means. I've been trying to get a hold of him, but so far no luck. So we will keep you posted on that as this show progresses. Steven,
yes.
Looking up at my TV right now, we're in the 66th minute of Atlanta Philly, so we're not going to talk about that right from the jump. But first and foremost, how are you doing? You were on a run. You mentioned earlier today. You mentioned you're training for a half marathon. How's that been?
Good. Again, Jake, I appreciate the pleasantries, but you know me, I'm a no BS type of guy. I want to get straight to the meat of sports. So, as much as I think the listeners want to hear me go on about my half marathon training, we do need to touch on one thing. You still have mice running around in your house. Have you had any update, or have you killed any mice since we last spoke 24 hours ago?
First and foremost, I like how you completely dodged my question of how are you doing? How's the marathon training going? And you say, no, Jake, I stick to sports. And then immediately pivot to, so how's the mice? How are the mice in your house going?
Hey, maybe they're playing soccer. Have you ever seen mice soccer?
No. The mice are great, I guess. They have a warm house to hang out in. My kitchen is disgusting. Last night after we got off the show, I had 2 mice in a trap. This morning I had another one. I do not kill them. I cannot kill things. I can't do it. I can kill bugs, but I can't kill them out. It's a mammal, okay? It's it looks up at me, and I just think, I can't kill you. I'm sorry. So what I do is I have this metal box that they're in, and I kid you not, guys, I drive these mice 2 miles down the road and let them out in some park. It's probably going to somebody. They're probably going to somebody else's house now because it's in a residential area. That's okay. Not my house. I don't care. Not my well, it's currently my problem, but maybe it'll be somebody else's problem. But that's what I do. I've been literally driving these mice 2 miles down the road to then let them out of this contraption.
Wow, what an ethical person. What a good person. At Jake Wetruba.
No, you know what's funny? Quick little tangent here. I bought this trap, right? And it's a humane trap for mice. But then you read the directions on how to use it, and it essentially says once you have mice trapped, dunk the trap in water, submerge it in water until mice drown. It's like, that seems like it's even less humane than just snapping its neck in like your standard mouse trap. So yeah, I'm very ethical. I can't even kill a mouse.
You know what you need to do?
Deer or fish or anything like that.
You should get a dog, particularly like a golden retriever who love to chase squirrels, rabbits. Why don't you have 2 dogs? Exactly. Why aren't they catching your mice?
I have 2 dogs and a cat. I have 2 dogs and a cat. The cat don't give no you know what's. The dogs don't care. No one cares. I only care. And it's tough. It's tough when your animals. The cat like puts it in her mouth and just kind of plays with it and doesn't kill it. It's just like it's a friend, I guess.
Yeah, well, I got a question for you, Jake, from a listener. Do you eat animals from factory farms?
Okay, all right. So I know where this is going here, and we've really gone down a rabbit hole here. Yes, I eat. I'll be the first to say I love cows. I love steak. I love hamburgers. I love a good slab of bacon on my cheeseburger if we're really getting crazy. I understand those animals are treated very poorly and probably killed very inhumanely most of the time. But it's kind of one of those things where it's like out of sight, out of mind. So yeah, call me hypocrite. I don't care. Call PETA. You can throw blood in my house, whatever. I don't care. Yes, I eat meat. I love it.
Okay,
tastes great.
Let's get into the meat of the show, and let's talk about the Seattle Sounders. Last night we were, I guess, midway through the first half by the time the show wrapped up. Arman, again, who's not on the show, and quite frankly, we have no idea where he is, said that RSL could be spooky and upset the Seattle Sounders in Seattle, a team in which has not lost a home playoff game since 2013. And Arman dares to say, nah, you know what? That stat, throw it out the window. Nope, Arman, you were wrong. I'm waiting for an apology letter. But Jake.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Let's begin with the big picture here. Seattle Sounders, 3 in 4 years in the conference finals. They are a model club in Major League Soccer. I mean, that's a pretty good run here. And I think looking back when Seattle has to make changes, it's gonna stick out.
No, it is. It is. Like you said, 3 of the last 4 years in the conference finals. That's a hell of a run. I mean, not too many teams across the other 4 major sports. You don't see that very often. Okay, here you go. I've teed you up now, Steven. Now tell me what team does that on a very consistent basis.
The New England Patriots.
The New England Patriots. No, I think you got to tip the cap to Brian Schmetzer there up in Seattle. We talked about this earlier tonight before the show. Is he one of the more – first of all, let's just start on a broader scale here. Is he one of the more underrated managers in MLS?
He has to be. I mean, 3 in 4 years, taking the Seattle Sounders, if you're a Seattle Sounders fan, your Seattle Sounders to the conference finals. And think about it. The year that they won it, right, They had a disaster of a season. They turned beginning of the season. They turned it around midway through. They go on this phenomenal run, and then they beat Toronto in MLS Cup. The following year, they get back to MLS Cup, and Toronto, who had a historic season, beats them at it. Last year, they faltered. But it's not even the 3 and 4 years, Jake. It's the fact that the Seattle Sounders have been in the playoffs every year since they entered Major League Soccer as an expansion team. I don't think there's enough credit given to this organization for how they run things, for how they do things, for how they realize that, believe it or not, you could take weeks off in MLS. The West was wild this last 3 months. Clubs going from the 2 seed to the 6 seed. Think about it. The LA Galaxy at one point had command on the 2nd seed. RSL was at one point in command of the 2nd seed. Your Minnesota United were at one point in command of that 2nd seed. But Seattle eventually came out on top. They played 2 home games. And again, they don't lose at home. And if you're the Seattle Sounders, you better be rooting for the LA Galaxy because, that's another tasty matchup for MLS as a whole when it comes to the TV ratings problem. But secondly, you're way more confident at home than you are on the road. And the California Stadium is going to be a rambunctious atmosphere tonight. But you best believe it that it's intimidating.
No, if you're Seattle, you definitely want the Galaxy to win tonight because CenturyLink Field is one of the tougher places to play. And if I was, LAFC, I believe they've only lost one match this year at home. That was to Minnesota United off of a Mason Toy brace. If you're Seattle, you don't want to be going to Bank of California Stadium. You want to hope the Galaxy can get the win here. I mean, they've never lost to LAFC, the LA Galaxy. So if you're Seattle, you got to at least feel somewhat good that could happen again. The other question I wanted to ask you about Brian Schmetzer was, so we
I never answered it. I went off rails.
That's fine. That's fine. We here at Uncle Sam Soccer Podcast, we allow for a little artist creativity. You don't need to paint between the lines. You can go outside the box a little bit every now and then. You can dodge a question. That's fine.
Well, I dodged the first question of the show.
All right. Well, let's get to the important one because.
Wait, pause. I want to bring some stats here. I did a little Google search.
Big stat guy.
Yes, I'm a big stat guy. Love my stats. It's good. It's best, especially Arman Kafai helps when you want takes. Anyway, Wednesday. I'm reading from Charles Boehm, MLSsoccer.com. Wednesday also marked their 11th straight home playoff win. Talking about the Seattle Sounders. The second longest such streak in MLS. And part of their 14-2-3 all-time record at home in the postseason. Woo! I mean, this team is hot. I simply can't believe Arman thought RSL really had a chance up there. I really don't. And I know Seattle played terrible in that first half. But it was night and day. In that second half, they looked miles better than RSL. They looked like a team that could compete for MLS Cup. And moreover, Jake, Seattle Sounders have won 6 major trophies. 6 major trophies since their MLS debut in 2009. 4 U.S. Open Cups. The Supporter Shield in 2014, the most meaningless trophy there is in all of North American soccer.
Whoa. What about the Campeones Cup?
No, I think.
What about the Leagues Cup?
No, those carry more weight because you have to beat clubs from Liga MX.
All right, I'll give it to you.
And then obviously their triumph in the 2016 MLS Cup over Toronto. Stefan Frei, who is Swiss.
Love it,
right?
Yeah, baby.
With an unbelievable save. They make the case, right, to be arguably the team of this decade. That's pretty much what Charles Boehm says here. But also, are they the model franchise in MLS.
You have to think they are, right? I mean, they've never missed the playoffs in their existence. You just rattled off you said, 6 trophies they've won?
Yeah.
So
they've also won the most games, 176 games since 2010. That is 10 more than second place New York Red Bulls.
And they're also a franchise that's not going to look. Seattle's going to spend money, but they're not going to spend money like LAFC is going to spend money. They're not going to spend money like
they spend their money smart.
Yes, and that's the key, that they spend their money smart. I'm trying to think of like a bad designated player that the Sounders signed where it's like, oh man, that just kind of screws them over, or were they allocated a ton of just TAM or whatever stupid pot of money you want to refer to, and that just really put them behind the 8 ball in terms of spending restrictions. I just think they probably are the model franchise in MLS. I think you can also make the case that while they don't win anything, you can also look at the Red Bulls, who develop. Oh, okay. Well, hold on here.
No.
Yes, hold on.
I do not want to. Okay, you cannot model the ideal club in Major League Soccer after a club that doesn't win anything. They are a loser.
No, but
Losers
they are
club.
consistently one of the better
they
teams
consistently
in MLS every
suck
single year
in the playoffs.
That says a lot coming from a Revolution fan.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? We're up against it. We're going to take here a quick break.
Wait. Let's push the break back. We push the break back for a second because I wanted to ask you, since we're talking about Seattle, I wanted to ask you about Nick Rimando. It's his last game yesterday. Do you have any Nick Rimando memories or anything about Nick Rimando that really stands out to you after looking back at his 20-year career?
That's a question
with
for
RSL
Arman. That's a
or
question
with the
for
US?
Arman. I'm sorry, that's a question for Arman. Because quite frankly, Nick Miranda, Nick, how do you pronounce this? Rimando.
Nick Rimando.
Sorry. He is a staple of Major League Soccer, obviously with RSL, right? He's
the greatest goalkeeper in MLS history.
The problem is, I'm a Euro stomp, right? So
you are.
I don't remember much of his career. I don't remember. There's not a Stefan Fry moment where I was blown away. That one moment where a keeper really just stood on his head. I'm sure I'm going to get killed because I'm sure he has a performance there.
By the way, Joseph Martinez just put this game on ice. What a banger. But yeah, let's go to break.
What? Okay. Listeners at Uncle Sam Soccer Pod, we want your thoughts. We're going to continue this conversation as Jose Martinez just put Atlanta 2-0 up on Philadelphia Union. We're going to talk about Frank de Boer as well here once the game ends. And obviously, El Trafico.
we're back. All right, we're back.
Wow. Please tell me, I will never write you a reference for a radio gig. With that.
That's from something, and I can't remember what it's from anymore, so I apologize. But that wasn't just something I did because I thought I was being funny. I've heard it from somewhere else. Anyway, I got a friend of the show listening. I just got a big LOL. Anyway, I want to talk about my New York Red Bulls point. Can I talk about my New York Red Bulls point?
Oh, for love of God. I don't know why anybody would model what the Red Bulls do as a success. They just don't win.
Look, the New York Red Bulls have a certain way of going about building their teams. And the way they do that, I think you can say they do it in a very successful way, which was building from within. It's building through the academy. It's building with these homegrown players. I mean, how many?
Okay, don't we have to make a distinction here?
When was the last big European or South American export Red Bulls brought in? Thierry Henry? What was that? 5-6 years ago?
Well, more than that.
I mean, there you go. I mean, the Red Bulls. Here's the thing. As Americans, I think we do this when looking at teams. We grade them on how much silverware have you won, or how many trophies have you won. And if you were to look at soccer, you're a Euro snob, so you should know all about this. You look in England, clubs are viewed in different ways. Look, if you're Crystal Palace, it's don't get relegated. The season's a success. If you're, let's say for this year, if you're Wolverhampton, compete for a Europa League spot. That's a success. If you're Chelsea,
wait. What's your point here? The New York Red Bulls have the second most wins in the 2010 decade behind the Seattle Sounders.
What I'm trying to say is if the Red Bulls really – I mean, look, they want to win silverware, but the Red Bulls have gone about their business as we are going to develop talent within. We are going to cultivate our academy to such that it can supplement the senior team, and we're not going to go out and we're not going to go get a flashy $10 million player like LAFC is, or even like we're not going to go out and get a Nicolas Ladero, or we're not going to go out and get a Raul Ruidiaz. We're not going to go out, and get players like that. What we're going to do is we're just going to grow from within. We're going to, develop a Tyler Adams, and then when he's a polished product, we're going to flip him to Europe for some profit.
If you want to lose and not win,
so does FC Dallas. That's FC Dallas's way too. I think you can look at FC Dallas as a
two
model
different
franchise
markets, two different cities, two different mentalities. Yes, I get it, but Jake, FC Dallas carries no weight when it comes to any fandom in North America.
Neither does New York Red Bulls.
New York Red Bulls are more familiar than FC Dallas. And let me ask you, you brought up the designated players. Can you name the two designated players the Red Bulls have?
Kaku.
Yes.
And the other one has to be Bradley Wright Phillips.
Yeah, you're right.
So there you go. We stand New York Red Bulls in this show. Me and Arman stand New York Red Bulls. Where's Arman at? Arman, get on this stupid show, all right? Let's back me up.
Hey, we're putting out the bat signal for Arman Kafai. Listeners, at Arman Kafai, at Unc Sam Soccer Pod. Ask him where he's at. Secondly, send in your thoughts, your questions. It looks like Atlanta United will book its place to the conference finals, going back-to-back. And my goodness, what a turnaround. Can you even say it's been a turnaround for Atlanta United? After the way they started on the Frank de Boer questions, basically losing the locker room at some point. I mean, you had multiple players comment on his defensive style, and it was frankly not liked.
You had the players in the locker room who were openly criticizing him. You had Pity Martinez going on Argentine radio and basically saying how unhappy he was and how he wants out of the club and how much he doesn't like Frank de Boer. I think you had LGP, who was also lamenting a lot in the media about how unhappy he was. So, and that was in May or June, I believe. And since that moment, since all those the faces of that team came forward and said, "This sucks. I hate playing it here. This isn't how I want to play football." And since then, it feels like there has been a turnaround. And like Atlanta wasn't a bad team when that happened either. They were just kind of a boring team to watch. It wasn't like Tata Martino's Atlanta United from the last 2 previous seasons where they were constantly on the front foot. They were playing this really expressive and expansive style of football, and they were more pragmatic under Frank de Boer, kind of grinding out the 1-0 result. Let's get a goal, and then let's just see this result out. And ever since that moment, it feels as though Frank de Boer has made changes to allow the players to kind of be themselves on the field, but also recognizes like you look at this game. Okay, they're going to go on and win this match. They're up 2-0 right now. Would you after watching this match, would you sit there and think after that first goal, like, wow, Atlanta just destroyed them. They were on the front foot the entire match. They toyed with the Philadelphia Union. Would you say that? Because I don't feel that way. I feel like they got a goal, and then they're like, all right, let's. This is a playoff match. This is a knockout game. We got our goal. Let's be defensively sound here, and let's see this game out. And they go and get a second goal from Joseph Martinez in the second half.
But I think we're missing a little bit of context here. Remind me, Jake, who won the U.S. Open Cup?
I think that was Atlanta United.
Oh, okay. Who won?
I remember that game.
Yeah. Go back and listen to the archives. A lot of thoughts on that. But who won the Champions Cup?
I believe that was Atlanta United.
Oh, okay. They won. They won silverware. Wow. My God.
Yeah, we've already. Yeah. They win stuff. 3 trophies. I think three trophies.
3 trophies in a span
in 3 years.
Well, yeah, that, but in a span of 8 months, they won 3 trophies. And 3 trophies, people would say those are actual trophies, not the stupid supporter shield.
I do not recognize the Campeones Cup.
I do. I give that more credit than the stupid supporter shield.
I mean, if Liga MX doesn't take it seriously, how can I?
Well, we do know. Okay, besides the point, I don't want to get into silverware measuring context here. What I do want to say is Frank de Boer lost the locker room early on, but he regained it by winning. Winning is the ultimate mask in sports. You could have a locker room that hates each other, but if they're on that court and they win, who cares what's going on in the locker room? Winning's the greatest mask. And the fact that they won 2 trophies the way they did under Frank de Boer put confidence in the team and understanding, okay, we can get behind it in certain instances. Yeah, the team wants to play this offensive style. But let me ask you, Jake, would you rather look pretty and lose or win silverware and not be the prettiest?
I would rather win some trophies and not look the prettiest. However, if you ask, well, God, I could really get us on a tangent here if I wanted to. If you ask a certain U.S. national team head coach, would he rather win trophies or look pretty losing? I think he might tell you to look pretty losing. But that's neither here nor there. I don't disagree with you on this one. Okay.
I'm on delay, but how does he miss that, Joseph Martinez?
I actually turned the game off, so sorry, listeners. Sorry, Stephen.
Fake
fan over here. Look, I completely lost your train of thought, but I agree with you. I would look Atlanta United.
But here's things.
What
there are still Major League Soccer reporters out there talking about. So I have question marks around Frank de Boer. Frank de Boer. Taking Atlanta United, won 2 trophies. They are in the CONCACAF Champions League. They're back in the conference finals. Oh, guess what? They're hosting it against Toronto. They're the favorite. You know it's going to be a sold-out park. They are the 2nd seed, are they not?
Yeah, they should be hosting.
So if LAFC get knocked out, there's a good chance that they host MLS Cup again. You could see a back-to-back champion here.
And what did I say? What did I say in our playoff preview show?
I don't remember.
I believe I said Atlanta will go back to back.
Oh, well, there you go.
Going back to back.
Predictions coming right. All right. More thoughts on this on the other side. We're going to get to the biggest game in Major League Soccer. We are all thrilled for El Trafico. We'll get to that. But listeners, at Uncle Sam Soccer Pod, send in your random thoughts. And Mr. Arman Kafai, where the hell are you?
All right. And we're back here on Uncle
Could
Sam's
you do anything
Soccer
more
Podcast.
Unprofessional?
I'm trying to keep it loose.
We're gonna do a proper. I'll show
let
you
the
what
show breathe. Let the show breathe a little bit. Let's keep it loose.
All right, it's official. Atlanta advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals versus Toronto.
Hey, thanks.
A side note, Jake, you texted this. I think this is a good take here. What are the chances we see Toronto versus Seattle again? It wouldn't be that bad. I would like that.
No.
Why? What's wrong with that?
No.
You don't want to see Michael Bradley?
No.
Chiefs versus Lions come back?
I don't remember the year Toronto won, how that match went. But what the one that this MLS Cup always stands out to me, this particular one, because of how boring I thought it was up until about extra time, and then it was like, oh, things are happening here. The match that ended 0-0 and went to penalties. I for some reason feel like that's gonna happen again, and I can't do it. I can't.
That was an epic match. No.
This league cannot handle a 0-0 final. I'm sorry, I can't. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe MLS Cup this year is on Big Boy Fox. I think it was on ESPN last year because I remember.
Dude,
I don't know
where you're getting your information. It's ABC.
Is it ABC this year?
Yeah.
Okay. Wasn't it on ESPN last year, wasn't it? Did they have to move it to 2:00 because of the Heisman Trophy presentation, or was that 2 years ago?
No, they moved it to, I think, ESPN 2.
Yeah, because of the Heisman presentation.
Yeah, but man, I don't know where you get your information. It's definitely ABC.
I've been drinking tonight. Well, then if that's the case, then it's my point still stands. It's going to be on ABC. This league does not need a 0-0 draw after 120 minutes to go to PKs. I'm sorry. This needs goals. It needs an LAFC. It needs an Atlanta. It needs star power. It needs what we have tonight, which is El Trafico. And, Steven, let me tell you something. Listeners, let me tell you something too. You probably didn't know this. I didn't know this until I looked it up because I'm very resourceful with my cell phone. You can be too. If you download SeatGeek, use the promo code. No, we don't have a promo code. I'm just kidding. Type in the promo code blah 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 to get $20 off your first purchase.
I hate those commercials.
The show is also sponsored by ZipRecruiter. See, I know all the typical podcast advertisers, but anyway, I was on SeatGeek at 7:35 Central Daylight Savings Time tonight. Okay, And I decided, let's, for S's and giggles, you know what the S stands for. Let's just see what tickets are going for LAFC LA Galaxy. So I type in LAFC. Boom, the game shows up. At 7:35 Central Time tonight, the cheapest ticket to stand with the 3252, the supporters group of LAFC, the cheapest ticket to stand in their section was $303 on SeatGeek.
Ooh.
Let me repeat that. $303 on SeatGeek.
Totally worth it.
For reference, I checked the prices of the third-party market for the Minnesota United LA Galaxy match last Sunday. I checked how cheap was it to stand in the Wonderwall with all the Minnesota United fans. $94. That was the cheapest ticket. So to give you some context here, we're looking at 3 times that price just to stand with the 3252. The cheapest ticket to just get in to the stadium to see the game. $208, and that is to sit way up there, way up in the nosebleeds. I've never been at California Stadium, so maybe it's a good view up there. I'm not sure. But to give you a little bit of idea, these tickets are expensive. This is not a cheap ticket. I believe these are more expensive than some of the tickets that were on the third-party market for Lakers Clippers NBA opener at Staples Center a couple nights ago.
And that was a Clippers home game disguised as a Lakers home game.
Hey, LA's a Clippers town now. We stand Clippers in the show.
Yeah, check
Where's
out
Arman? Where's Arman? Arman would stand with me.
Where is Armand? We're still waiting for him. Listeners, if you've never heard of this, but Jake and Armand once tried to do an Uncle Sam basketball song. You
can, if you search around on, if you can figure out, I'm not going to name names here. This should be a dead giveaway, especially if you're listening live. If you can do a little searching on the platform we host our podcast on, and you can figure out what we named it, and I'm going to tell you something. It's not very hard because the wording is. Let's just say it's
I believe we watched.
Just say it's under the same branding as Uncle Sam's Soccer Podcast. So if you can think of the branding for Uncle Sam's Soccer Podcast, i.e. Uncle Sam, you can do a little searching on a certain podcast platform and find a pilot episode or two from, 2 years ago, where me and Armand struggled through an hour's worth of NBA talk. So you can go, but do that after the live show's over. Don't tune out now. We still have some show here planned for you. But yes, there is an NBA podcast out there of me and Armand talking a little hoops. So, Steven.
I'm back. I lost my thought.
What
were we talking about?
We're talking El Trafico, and I wanted to ask you this.
Yeah.
Because you have hot takes. I really you.
This
always...
is my big point.
All right, give us a big point. Thanks.
$300 is totally worth it to go sit and watch this match. This is single-handedly the greatest match in MLS history. I don't care. I know we had a listener yesterday chime in, and he messaged us, and I'm gonna butcher this name, Rayo Roscoe, basically talking about David Beckham's first match in MLS being up there and just the hype. And he was discussing about how people were talking about on radio, the national media was talking about it. And sure, but I think this is the first time where you just get the impression that this is Liverpool versus Manchester United.
Okay.
This is Tottenham versus Arsenal.
Oh yeah, this is the 3rd and 5th place team in England playing each other.
No.
I don't even know where Arsenal even is in the standings or Tottenham even is. But yeah, this is two.
I'm not talking about the quality of play. I'm just simply talking about the hatred between the two clubs. Never mind that the players
You should have said Celtic Rangers. That would have been a better comparison, I think.
Tottenham fans hate Arsenal fans. Arsenal fans hate Tottenham fans. This is like New York Yankees versus the Boston Red Sox in the early 2000s. This is Lakers versus Celtics in the 80s. This is the rivalry in Major League Soccer at the moment. At the moment, if Ibra leaves, LA Galaxy better find a superstar that opens his mouth. Boy, is it awesome hearing just the smack. Oh man, love it.
So speaking of smack, speaking of talking, Carlos Vela, according to Sebastian Salazar, I believe it was Sebastian Salazar on Twitter, and I know it's from Taylor Twellman because this is where I saw the tweet. According to those two, Carlos Vela and Zlatan Ibrahimovic declined ESPN's request for an interview earlier today.
Okay.
And according to Salazar, this is the first time Zlatan has ever turned down ESPN for an interview. So my question to you, Steven, because you have the hottest takes, you always have an opinion on everything, you always have a thought.
What is that supposed to mean?
Jake taking shots over here or something.
I always, you know what? I have a take. Unlike YouTube pansies that never have a take.
I
have a take.
I have a take. Okay, here's what happened. I had takes on the Columbus Crew about a year ago, and then Columbus Crew Twitter was in my mentions. So now I'm like, screw having takes. I'm sick of dealing with these people. So I'll leave it to you. I'll leave it to you. Anyway, they don't give any comments. They don't do any interviews. They don't want to talk to the media. What does that say from those two?
Oh, LA
high?
Galaxy are in the heads of LAFC. It is.
Are they living rent free right now?
Oh my God, they're living rent free. It is so great. Oh, the Galaxy. Oh man, this match. I just can't wait. I think LAFC have Mount Everest to climb tonight. They can get past LA Galaxy. They will breeze to MLS Cup. This is MLS Cup for LAFC. This is more important to them than it is hosting Seattle in the conference finals. They get past the Galaxy, they will win MLS Cup because the Galaxy represent the old MLS, right? LAFC is trying to make the names for themselves. But that said, LAFC is very talented. They're at home. The fans are into it. But the Galaxy are in the heads of LAFC.
Yes, I agree. The Galaxy are in the heads of LAFC. But tonight is the perfect night for LAFC to exercise those demons, if you will, if you want to call them demons. They've only played a handful of times. But tonight will be the night of, Galaxy and Galaxy fans, you've beaten us in the regular season, but when it mattered the most, when the most was on the line, we kicked your ass. We beat you.
Just remember, Supporter Shield winners don't succeed well in Major League Soccer playoffs. And there's been a sighting of Arman Kafai. We're going to try to get him on the line here for our final segment. We're going to take a quick break, try to get him on the line. We're going to discuss starting lineups. Obviously, the game's not near to getting kicked off. Fans are still walking into
the kickoff isn't until 10:48 Eastern time.
Oh my goodness!
Or 9:48 Eastern. I don't even know what time is that.
No, 10:48 on the East Coast.
That's okay. See, I said it and it sounded really ridiculous. That's why.
Wait. No, yeah, that is because it's 9:14 Central. Wow,
that's so bad.
That is ridiculously stupid. Wow. My God. All right. We're going to try to surprise Arman Kafai here on the telly at Sam Soccer Pod. If you have a question for Mr. Arman, let us know. At Arman Kafai, at Jake Wittrobe, at Steven Jodder. We'll be right back. Alrighty, we are back on Sam Soccer Podcast at Steven Jodder and at Jake Watroba. Taking you up to the bottom of the hour. Thank you. Thank you, Jake. I had you on mute. So, that comment was not aired. Thank you for that professional intro, Jake. I mean, now, never mind.
Now you sound like the idiot because you stumbled over yourself because you could hear me, but nobody else could.
Yeah.
Steven is an authoritarian with his with the way he operates the soundboard over there. He's like communist China with the way they're silencing NBA criticism from the NBA.
Yes.
You can't edit that out now, so
Nope.
You can't do that in post-production.
Nope, I can't.
It's a live show.
It's a live show. I don't know where Arman Kafai is. He might be listening to the show. Answer your phone, buddy. Just for 10 minutes. Unbelievable. Hey, Jake, let's talk about this LA Galaxy. You are obviously in Minnesota. Were you impressed with the way the Galaxy came out and played?
Yeah, I was a little bit I don't want to say confused, but they sat back for a majority of the match against Minnesota United. They really seemed comfortable. Maybe this is because Minnesota United doesn't have that many threatening offensive or attacking-minded players at the moment right now, but they really seemed comfortable absorbing the pressure of Minnesota United and hitting Minnesota United on the counterattack for large portions of that match. I remember texting you guys essentially saying, Minnesota United needs to make some changes, maybe Mason Toye for Angelo Rodriguez. Makes no sense why you're having Rodriguez hold up play. They need somebody who can make some runs between the center backs there, get in behind. And I think tonight that strategy isn't going to work. I don't think the LA Galaxy can afford to sit back and absorb pressure.
Oh, that
from
would be
LAFC.
A massive mistake. I think you have to attack LAFC.
You have to.
That's how they beat
come out
them.
And play with them.
That's how they beat them, especially when they had was it 2 or 3 goals in a span of 16 minutes?
It was about 3, I believe. You had the 2. I believe it was 2 Zlatan goals and 1 from Christian Pavone.
Yeah.
You have to. They have to. They cannot absorb pressure like they did against Minnesota United. Minnesota United does not have players like Carlos Vela. They don't have players like a Diego Rossi or a Brian Rodriguez. I believe LAFC has Diamande back tonight. I haven't seen the starting 11 for LAFC, but I know Diamande was available for selection tonight.
I've got both lineups here, and if you're watching to the ESPN2 broadcast, make sure that you tune into ESPN at the bottom of our Zlatan Ibrahimovic, 8 goals in 5 games. He starts at the top for the Galaxy with Pavone and Antuna on his flanks, Leggett in the middle, Dos Santos and Kitchen as more of your defensive midfielders. Back line left to right, Romney, Plenta. I can't read this because my eyes are terrible. Gonzalez on the right. The other center back is Stress. And then Bigham in goal. Meanwhile, LAFC, Jake.
I got their starting 11 right in front of me right now. If you want me to read it.
Give it to me.
Starting in net, Tyler Miller working left to right. We have Harvey, Segura, Blackman. Big question there with Walker Zimmerman out. How will they – well, Zimmerman's on the bench, but he suffered the injury in that match. I believe it was against the Colorado Rapids. So that's an area to watch for LAFC with Blackman pairing up with Segura there in the back. Beta short to Blackman's right in the midfield. Again, working left to right. Blessing, Atuesta, Win. And then starting up top, flanking Carlos Vela, you have Rossi to his left and Brian Rodriguez to his right. Vela starting at the 9.
Right, lots of question marks here with obviously Zimmerman sitting on the bench. But Jake, we saw last night NYCFC get knocked out. They were playing at Citi Field. Toronto FC, a team experienced with plenty of talent. But NYCFC did have a prolonged break. I don't know how much you want to toss up their loss to that, or was it just a fluke, bad bounces? But LAFC haven't played in a while. The Galaxy are they're on a run, quote unquote, on a run.
Well, okay, let's pump the brakes here with the run. All right, let's not forget the LA
What
Galaxy.
I'm saying is their momentum. LAFC have to stop and go. Does that have any impact on tonight's game?
No. Okay, again, LA Galaxy, before beating Minnesota United, they dropped games, first of all, at home.
But I don't think the Galaxy care.
Whitecaps.
But here's the thing: here's the unique thing about the LA Galaxy, and we've said this all along, or at least I have. The man with real takes on the show.
Okay, buddy.
That's my line. Jake, the Galaxy have this. They do this thing where they play up to the competition, and when the lights shine brightest, Ibrahimovic makes it a point. I just think they went to Minnesota and they said, "Ha, all right, boys, we got this. We're gonna go out there, we're gonna take care of business, and we're gonna make a real statement against LAFC Thursday night in their house again."
Yeah, that very well could be. That very well could be. Look, I know we talked about the layover. We talked about the 17 or 18 days between matches for NYCFC and LA Galaxy. I don't know. This LAFC team, it just feels different to me. I don't know. You can sit here and say LA Galaxy have the win or the momentum at their back or the win in their sails because they beat Minnesota United at home. Is that what we're supposed to believe here? That LA Galaxy are flying high off of a 2-1 win over Minnesota United? Is that what we're supposed to believe? I mean, this LA Galaxy's defending has been piss poor for large periods.
Yep, you're not wrong, and that's why the Galaxy have to get on the front foot early. I also
agree with you though that they are Jekyll and Hyde. They can flip the switch when they need to. When the lights shine the brightest, specifically when it's LAFC, they do seem to get up for LAFC. So it's going to be an interesting match, but I'm not going to sit here and just say that LAFC is going to lie down for the Galaxies because that's how it's kind of always been.
Well, of course they're not just going to lie down and say, come and...
But I'm not going to sit here and just say that the Galaxy are just going to come in. They're just rolling in. They've won 9 of their last 10, or they're on this run that Toronto's on, which is 12 unbeaten now with the 2 postseason wins, 12 unbeaten. Like let's not sit here and talk about the Galaxy as if they're this team that's just steamrolling teams at the moment. Like they lost to Vancouver and the Houston Dynamo in the final 2 weeks of the season. The LA Galaxy, had they not lost those 2 matches at the end of the season, could be where the Seattle Sounders are right now, which is the number 2 seed.
I'm thankful they lost these 2 matches because it's a guarantee that we would have had this.
You mean you didn't want RSL or Minnesota United against LAFC tonight? You would have gotten hey, you may have gotten El Trafico in the Western Conference final instead.
I honestly, this is better.
No, I disagree because I would much rather see that game on a Sunday night than on a
Guess what?
Thursday night.
They're not on those conference finals are not on a weeknight. I mean, on a weekend. They're not on a weekend. They're next Tuesday, I think.
God, I hate MLS. God, this league sucks.
Actually, it's smart. It's smart.
God damn it.
But it's smart. You know why? Because you're not competing against stupid playoffs, football, college football, and the NFL. You have Atlanta, Toronto next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Then
Guess what? The Atlanta Falcons are so bad that Atlanta United is not competing against them if they are on the same time, because I can guarantee you most people will tune in to Atlanta United. Second of all, I don't know when the Toronto Argonauts play, so if we're talking about football. Third of all, schedule El Trafico when the Rams. I'm just going to leave it at the Rams because the Chargers are a joke too.
Well, they really belong to San Diego. They're just the San Diego Superchargers of LA.
You can work around this. Just don't schedule the games when the local NFL teams are playing. I mean, come on. And the Falcons are trash.
We're not talking schedule.
Anyway,
it is what it is. All I'm saying is it's next Tuesday and next Wednesday. Those are the conference finals game. And I'm frankly happy that we have it because at least we have it. It's not a guarantee that the Galaxy would have beaten, I don't know who they would have played in the opening round and then played RSL in the second game.
Dallas.
I don't know. I don't care. Frankly, I don't care. This is great. Question, Jake. I mean, we talked about it here in the final 2 minutes. Here we talked about LAFC have this massive hurdle to get over. This is the biggest game in MLS history. I don't care. Some of you on Twitter have said that this is the biggest game, non-MLS Cup final biggest game. Nope, not at all. This is single-handedly the biggest game in Major League Soccer history. Because frankly, this game will be, if it turns out to what we've had in the previous matchups, it will generate more buzz and it will be more memorable in 3 years now than some stupid MLS Cup from 2013. Quite frankly, I don't even remember last year's MLS Cup when Atlanta beat Portland.
Things happened. I think Portland lost. But no, that's a joke. I know Portland lost. Bobby Warshaw agrees with you, by the way. He says this is also the biggest match in league history. I just, for me, I just kind of wish this was a conference final. It just feels like it would have a little more gravitas. Kind of like how Toronto and Montreal had that one year. It was a conference final. It was a big rivalry. It was that. Not to mention it was two legs.
I think that was a conference semifinal.
Was it? Well, then what do I know?
Nothing.
Arman, call in. Let us know.
Hey, okay, we're gonna do something unexpected. This could go down the bleep show, but let's see if we can.
No, you can't call him because it's gonna give out his phone number to everybody listening. So you can't do that because it's gonna go straight to voicemail. So you cannot do that.
Oh, I can't do that. Nope.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop you right now. I knew what you wanted to do. I wanted to
prank call him.
Arman. No, prank. He knows who's calling him. You wanted to cold call Arman. But I know how his phone works because I can never. Here's the thing, listeners. Give you a little behind-the-scenes look at how we deal with things on Uncle Sam's Soccer Podcast. For me personally, if you call Arman, it goes straight to voicemail, and then you have to wait for Arman to call you back. He never picks
call
up.
him twice.
Or you do that. I wait for him to call me back because I'm a nice guy. Maybe he's busy. I don't know. Who am I to assume? He's in school. He covers FC Dallas. He watches soccer a lot. What do I know?
Yep. Anyway, listeners, at Unc Sam Soccer Pod, we'll be back next Monday with a fresh episode talking MLS. We want your thoughts at Unc Sam Soccer Pod. Now I'm repeating myself at Jake Watroba for Mr. Negative and every wrong prediction possible.
Can I do a impromptu question of the day?
Oh my God, we've been terrible. Yeah.
Question of the day, listeners. At Unc Sam Soccer Pod, where does Brian Schmetzer rank for you among U.S. coaches? As an American coach, where does he rank for you? We have Jesse Marsh, we have Greg Berhalter, we have Bob Bradley, cast of thousands. Where does he rank on the list? Bruce Arena, thank you very much. Where does he fall on that list? Because Steven and I were talking about it, and Steven dodged the second question I wanted to ask him. I never got to ask him it, but it was, where does he rank on a list of American-born coaches? So let us know at Unc Sam Soccer Pod, at Jake Watroba, at Steven Jodaran. Follow that schmuck Arman Kafai. He never answered the phone calls. We tried to get him on. I believe Steven said we're going to record this weekend, so we'll be back early next week to talk.
That's right. I'm El Presidente.
Holding our feet to the fire.
I'm the dictator of the show.
You're the David Portnoy of the show, El Presidente.
Actually, I have a different nickname on the show, but
we're gonna offend people for saying that probably because they probably don't like Barstool. Anyway, that's it for today's show. Go out, watch the game tonight, enjoy
drink a
your
beer,
night.
Enjoy the game, the greatest game in MLS, and frankly, because we're also fanboys here, I'm rooting for the Galaxy Jake, I don't know who you're rooting for.
LAFC. I want LAFC.
All right, good.
I want them in Atlanta.
We'll be chirping on Twitter. Till next week. Bye.